All right, so here's an interesting update on the Cummins motor. This is the 5.9 12 valve. It's a 94. So the P pump, the P71 pump has failed and it has a stuck rack. And I've gone back and forth. I'll show you the stuck rack, but I just gave in. The cost is just crazy. I mean, it's a rat rod, so I'm not overly concerned about having a $3,000 pump or something like $1,500 to overhaul this. So this is the Chinese knockoff. I thought it'd be an interesting comparison just to see what these are, the differences, and what I see. And obviously I'll install it and we'll see, but I'm positive, sure, it's gonna work. I mean, if they didn't, they wouldn't be selling them, right? But here's the stuck, this plunger here, and you're gonna see this as I can't turn it, but this shaft right here, okay, was stuck. And I could not turn these things. And I messed and pried. I took another video of this, but I discovered it was this one because I went through and loosened each one of these, and you can adjust the fuel flow on each cylinder by turning these, and these are shimmed and all that stuff. But this one, when I would turn it, the rack here would move when I would turn this plunger system. So I knew it was stuck there. So I sat and played and I mean, beat the sucker up, and then it gave, and then it started doing this, and I was like, oh my gosh, look, the rack gave. But if you look at these valves in here, or these plungers, you see how they turn, and oops, that one don't turn and turn. So I broke it. So that 3 plunger is snapped. So I've now gone on to just buying a new pump, and so here I am. So obviously the delivery valves, I had put new delivery valves in here, by the way, and I'll change those out. And the governor springs are changed out in this. This pump engine had been sitting for probably 15 years, so likely there something with the oil or fuel or something, or maybe, who knows. I actually would like to take this apart, since I'm not sending it in, just to see what did break. So that might be another interesting video someone might be interested in, right? But just so you can see what they're supposed to do, right? So this is the fuel shutoff valve here, and let's see if I don't have any light in here, but it contacts that rack and doesn't allow that rack to slide forward, and it slides freely. Then the throttle will push the rack forward and advance it. And then you'd have the AFC, and that foot then would hit against the throttle and override the throttle so that you'd be giving an input. But because this AFC is hooked to a vacuum, when it says it has too much boost, I guess, it'll back it off and back the fuel off. So I think that's how these work. But I've already have it on the top dead center, centered it up. I'm gonna go ahead and mount it, but I'll change these out, change delivery valves out. Okay, so here are the differences. Obviously you want to know. So these are what I can see. Is on my original pump, okay, there are 3 fittings, and this is where the throttle connection attaches to, and then you have, I think it's the TV cable that goes to the 47RH transmission. So those 3 tabs, okay, there are bungs here that have adapters. So that one's there, but it's not the same. So it's way down here. So drilled out differently. So I can tell, let's put these closer. That one and that one line up. that one and that one are supposed to line up, but they do not, okay? That is not threaded for a bung. That one's threaded. That's threaded down there, which would be this hole. So we are missing this attachment point for the throttle housing. So that would be a problem. For me, it won't be a problem because I can fabricate a tab to connect from here down to here. I'm gonna try to remove these, but you can purchase these on, what is it called? Power Driven Diesel, I believe. Yeah, because I have their thing there, their magnet. And I know they do sell those, and they're like, I don't know, $7 or $8 a piece. So if I can't get that out, I will put those in. The throttle or the fuel shutoff is the same. That bar is the same. This would just come off and reattach, or maybe this can slide off. Anyways, the same thing with the throttle. It appears to be the same. These two bolts, those two bolts, so you can take that whole thing off. The castings are very similar. I'm gonna assume that this is the same. These caps here, this one's a very narrow cap. This might be the smaller pump. I know they make a couple different versions of that. There's a cap there. On the top, they look exactly the same. Now, I don't know if these have been fuel flowed to know if they are accurate in the amount of fuel they put out, and I really don't have a way to test it unless I hook the lines up and run the motor and pump fuel through them into a canister, but I don't have that. I assume the weights are the same. The mounting, that mounting hole there, that's there. These 4 holes appear to be the same. I did have an issue with delivery because this thing came in that box and it got whacked right there pretty good. It's bent this housing just a little bit. So this is not flush, so I will need to grind that down. Comes with the key. The original ones are keyed. They're not used because these are just a tapered fitting, so I'll need to remove the key. The back side of these appear to be the same. Difference is there's a thread hole there. Not sure what that's being used for. Not there. But they look kind of identical. Even the castings look exactly the same. This, by the way, this red flag here, it's in, looks like in Chinese, but it has something in English. It says the longer side facing outside while running. That has to do with the pin that's in here, the alignment pin. On this side, it appears to be the same. It has some casting numbers here. That mounting bolt appears to be the same. This fitting appears to be the same. This is where the fuel return line is. So it looks like it should fit just fine. Everything looks the same. It's just the throttle cable housing bolt. Only one of them is the same. Again, you only have one bolt the same. The other two will not work on this. You'd have to drill and tap this. I have no way of doing that or doing it correctly per se. I guess you could probably weld something on here, or you just use one bolt. If this is, I don't know, that actually probably wouldn't work because this has to be mounted in your truck to hold it. Anyways, rambling now. AFC housings appear to be the same. So I think mine's already modified, so I might just slide mine on. But these are pretty clean. They obviously look brand new. All right, and it did come with a, fuel plate. Yeah, I don't know, 16. I don't know what it is, but there was that in there. All right, well, hopefully that helps someone out there that's on the fence with buying one of these. Again, I will put it in the truck and we'll get to running. We'll see how long it actually runs, and I might make another video of taking that apart to see where the failure was, somewhere in there. All right, thanks for watching.